Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is that time yet again for the TBR jar to help me pick out my reads for the month. I cannot believe that it's already September. I know everyone says that at the beginning of a new month, but this year really has flown by. It literally feels like last week I was sitting here filming my very first TBR jar picks my reads video all the way back in January. It has truly just flown by. For the month of September, it's kind of a tricky one because even though it's technically summer for the majority of the month, and it definitely feels like summer temperature wise, at least where I live, I feel like the vibes are kind of gearing towards fall. So in terms of what I'm feeling like reading, I really don't know. I don't necessarily feel like picking up summery reads. I might throw a couple in. I don't know if I'm really in the mood for fall reads either. So we're just gonna have to see as it comes, as I pull the prompts, what sounds good to me in the moment. But September very much feels like a transitional month to me. So with that in mind, I am gonna be lowering the number of prompts that I pulled today down to 5, just because I have a few themed reading vlogs planned. I've been wanting to film these videos for a while, but it just hasn't ever really fit in with a specific month because I'm such a seasonal reader. So I feel like September is going to be the perfect time to try and film those. So I'm going to lower the number of prompts down to 5 so that I can make room for the books I want to read for these reading vlogs. With that, let's jump right into pulling prompts. If anyone ever has good ideas for a prompt, please comment it below because I feel like I could use some new prompts to spice up the TBR jar. Prompt number 1 is a book from your favorite genre. I remember drawing this one last month and my favorite genre is romance, so we're gonna pick another romance. Float Plan by Trish Dollar is definitely one that I think would be good for September because even though it all takes place on the water, I don't necessarily think it's like super summery, but I don't know if this is considered really romance. I know there's romance in here, but I do think it may lean more towards the women's fiction side because our main character is dealing with grief. So we'll see if there's a better option. The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. This is the second book in a series. I don't know if you should read the first one before reading this one, but I don't know. This one just is like catching my eye for some reason. Magnolia Parks Into the Dark is an option. Redeeming 6 is an option. I don't know, from this side I feel like the only romances that are calling my name are The Love Wager, Magnolia Parks, Redeeming 6, and The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I've completely cleared out this side of the TBR. Are you guys proud? I'm proud of myself. The 7-Year Slip could actually be a really good option because I've been kind of saving this for the fall time. Even though I don't necessarily know if it's fall vibes, the magical realism element, the fact that it takes place in New York, has always kind of seemed very fall to me. I think I am gonna go with the 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston just because in my mind this has always seemed like a fall book because of the magical realism element. It takes place in New York. I don't know why, that just feels very fall to me. Even though I haven't necessarily heard it recommended for fall, I feel like if I read it in late September, it'll be a safe bet because if it does give fall vibes, we're moving into October, so that's perfect. But if not, it's still September. So nothing to lose. I loved The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and I've heard even better things about this one. I've seen so many 5-star reviews. Her latest release has been getting very mixed reviews. I'm still curious to pick it up. I have heard that one recommended for fall, but this one I do want to give a try first. I know it's about our main character and her aunt leaves her this apartment, and it is a magical apartment. Like sometimes when she goes in, I think she's 7 years in the past, and she ends up meeting the guy who lived there 7 years in the past, and it follows their romance. That sounds so interesting. I cannot wait to give this one a try in September. Prompt 2 is a book from a previous TBR that you didn't read. We keep getting ones that I drew last time around because I got both of those prompts last month as well. But I actually think the book I want to pick is staring me right in the face. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes is one of the books I didn't get to last month but really wanted to. This is another one that I feel like is a good transitional read because it is a YA mystery. I've heard it recommended for if you're in a slump. It's basically like Criminal Minds with these teenagers who have special abilities that help the FBI solve crimes. I also really want to read the Inheritance Games trilogy by the same author in the fall, but I think this one will be good to start in the month of September. Prompt 3, I'm going to try to go for one on the very bottom to get something new. A book set in another country. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if like a fantasy book that takes place in a fictional setting would count. Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I'm pretty sure he is Swedish and all of his books take place there. I think they're all translated into English. Yeah, this book takes place in Stockholm. Which I know this book is about a group of people at an apartment viewing and someone is robbing a bank across the street. He comes over to the apartment and holds them all hostage. So since it takes place in Stockholm, is it going to be like Stockholm Syndrome? That would be kind of interesting. But I've heard great things about this one. I've heard it's like a wide cast of very diverse characters. This could definitely be a good option. Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. All of her books take place in Ireland or the UK, and she does have a new release coming out next month, so I feel like I'm gonna want to read that one instead, but could be an option as well. Magnolia Park's Into the Dark is set in the UK. Redeeming 6 by Chloe Walsh. This whole series takes place in Ireland. This could be a good option because I do really want to continue on with this series. I feel like I am leaning towards Anxious People a little bit more just because this book is so lengthy and I don't want to feel overwhelmed by the TBR I set just to get through the reading vlogs that I really want to film. I'm excited about Anxious People by Frederick Backman. Like I said, this is a book following these people viewing an apartment and there's someone across the street robbing a bank and he comes over to the apartment viewing and holds all of them hostage. And I think we get all of the point of views of the people in the hostage situation. So I'm really excited to read more from Frederick Backman. I read Beartown earlier in the year and really enjoyed it. I really liked his writing style and kind of the life lessons he incorporates into his books. So I think since I didn't know what I was in the mood for at the beginning of the video, this is perfect because it kind of fits into multiple different genres. So I feel like it's going to be a perfect one for when I just want to mood read this month. I'm going to try to pick one from the bottom again since that seemed to work out well for the last one. So my hand is going to get stuck in this jar. A book with a cover you love. The very first one that comes to mind is Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, but again, that's another lengthy one, so I'm like, do I want to add that to the TBR? It's also going to be really heavy. I also don't know if I'm ready for Magnolia and BJ's story to be over. I do love the cover of The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, but a part of me feels like I should save this for next summer maybe. I don't know, I have heard really great things about it, so maybe I could bring this one to the beach with me, although I'm going to the beach in late September. It's a tricky one. I do love the cover for Float, but I'm really not in a YA summer rom-com mood at the moment, and I don't know if I will be in the month of September. I'm really between The Paradise Problem and Magnolia Parks because these are probably my two favorite covers of all the books on my TBR. This book is almost 700 pages. Oh, it is 700 pages. It's over. I don't know. I'm torn because I feel like September would be a good time to continue on with series I'm in the middle of because October, November, I'm going to be wanting to read fall books, and then late November, December, winter books. So I'm like, when will I get a chance to read this again until maybe next year? And at the same time, I have heard really great things about The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, and I do want to read more from them. I think I would really enjoy this one, and it could be good because I don't have any summer books on the TBR yet, so if I'm feeling a summery read, I'm just so split on these two. Realistically, I do think there's a better chance that I'm gonna get through The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren just because Magnolia Park's Into the Dark is so long, and I really think I just have to be in the mood to sit down and read that book. This one I think is gonna be not as much thinking required. I can just kind of sit back and enjoy it, and it'll be a little bit more fluffy, which I feel like I could use a book like that just thinking about the vlogs I have planned. They might get a little heavy, so I'm gonna need some lighthearted relief from that. I'm gonna go with The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I don't know too much about it. I think the trope in this one is fake dating, but I've just heard really good things and I'm obsessed with the cover. And our final prompt, I'm going to try to get another one from the very bottom this time. Probably should have mixed these up better. Ooh, a ton fell out, but I'm hanging on to this one. Next book in a series. Okay, so do I do Magnolia Parks for this one or Redeeming 6? My reasons for not picking either of them were because they were so lengthy. I'm so torn. These are literally my two favorite series, and I wanted to continue on with both of them. Both of these books are actual bricks. How many pages does Redeeming Six have? So we know Magnolia Parks has just over 700. Oh, this one is gonna beat Magnolia. This one has 750-ish pages. Both so lengthy. I am more excited about Magnolia Parks Into the Dark than I am Redeeming Six, just because I didn't love Joey and Eva's first book as much as I love Johnny and Shannon's story, and I don't necessarily feel super excited to pick up book 5 in this series because I've heard negative reviews. So I think that's kind of what stopped me from continuing on with this series. I definitely will, and I still definitely want to, but just not as much as I probably previously did. So I think I will go with Magnolia Parks for my final book of the TBR. I am excited, but also nervous. Definitely one you have to emotionally prepare yourself for. But I've heard the best things about this book, and people who are fans of the series thought it ended so well for BJ and Magnolia. I've heard the character growth was so good. So I am excited to read more because I adore this series so much. I've loved all the books. So I think this is a good pick. Definitely no guarantees I'm going to read it in September just because it is so long, so I don't know if I'm gonna have time, but I will do my best to read this one along with all the books I have planned for reading vlogs. So to conclude, the 5 books on my September TBR are Magnolia Parks Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings, The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. So that's going to conclude my September TBR video. I know it was super short and sweet, but didn't want to overwhelm myself with a ton of books on my TBR. If you did enjoy watching, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. As always, leave me a comment. Let me know if you've read any of the books on my TBR for the month, what you liked, what you didn't like. If you think I should prioritize any of these books, let me know. And let me know what's on your TBR for the month of September as well. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit the red button down below to stick around so that you don't miss out on any of my upcoming book videos and the reading vlogs I have planned for the month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you so soon in the next one. Bye guys.